Hey guys, today we're going to be learning a really cool card trick. It's called Oil and Water. I learned this quite a long time ago, like years ago, from, I believe it was MissMag822's channel. They put a tutorial on it, and I think Andy Feel Magic did a performance as well. It was like a collaboration thing between those two channels. Both of their videos will be linked down in the description below, because that's where I first saw this trick and I learned it there. But I think this trick's so powerful, I want to teach it on my channel as well. So I'm going to get into a quick performance now. So check out this, and then we'll get into the tutorial. So this trick uses 4 black cards and then 4 red cards. Okay, and to help you guys keep track of where the cards are, I'm going to set the red cards down just over here, and then I'm going to leave the black cards in my hand. Very easy to keep track of. Now this card trick is about mixing the cards up, red, black, because something very interesting happens when you do that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a red card and a black card, and we're just going to mix them up, just like so. 1 card from each pile, just like that. Now you'd expect the cards to still be alternated, right? But what actually happens is the black cards are slightly lighter than the red cards. So if you give it a minute for the deck to settle, the black cards will rise to the top. Don't believe me, or take a look at those top 4 cards. Sure enough, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 black cards. And if the black cards have all risen to the top, then that must mean that at the bottom, the red cards must have all sank. Now you probably weren't watching that time very closely, you didn't expect that to happen, so I'm going to do it again. We take the 4 red cards over here, and the 4 black cards here. The red cards are going to go down in a pile, just like last time. The black cards remain up here in my hand, all 4 of them. We're going to mix them up just like we did last time. 1 card from each packet, red, black, red, black, red, black, red, and black. So the cards are all mixed up. We just give it a minute for that deck to settle, the black cards will rise to the top. So if you take a look at those 4 top cards, sure enough, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 black cards on top, and on the bottom I've got 4 red cards. Now again, you're probably thinking that was pretty impressive, but we didn't actually see the cards get mixed face up. That would be a lot more impressive because you wouldn't be able to. I could be cheating when the cards are face down. So I'm going to show you now what that looks like. You take a black card and then a red card, a black card and a red card, a black card and a red card, finally a black card and a red card. So you've actually seen the cards get mixed now. They're legitimately mixed, red, black, they all alternate. But the moment you turn this packet face down, the black cards will start to rise to the top again. And if you take a look at the top 4 cards, we should find that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 black cards there. And once again, there's nothing special about these cards, they're all perfectly normal. And if the black cards are on top, that must mean that at the bottom here, we've actually got the 4 red cards. Now the very annoying thing about this trick is that if you were to take a look at a normal deck of cards, the cards are all mixed randomly, right? Red, black, any way you want. They're not separated like they are here. And that's because when you actually try and mix the cards, they don't mix at all, they'll separate, just like I've been showing you. But the moment you take the black cards, and you take the red cards, and you put them together, you're not even trying to mix them. That's when something very special happens. Because if we take a look right now, the cards are actually all completely alternated. Just like that. And that's oil and water. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Let's get into it. Okay then, just before we start, if anyone's wondering what deck I'm using today with the black design, it's just some bicycle standards, which they're just black. So it's pretty cool just aside from the normal red and blue ones to have a bit of a change in the colour. So that's what deck I'm using today. It's just the black standards bicycles. Just thought I'd let you guys know because I know I sometimes get questions about it. So let's get into the actual tutorial. You want to start off with several cards. So you obviously need 4 black cards and 4 red cards, but the secret to this effect is that you've actually got 1 more black card. Okay, so you've got 5 black cards and 4 red cards. And this is the setup you want to start the effect in. But before we get into that, I'm just going to go through what cards you should really be choosing. You can see if you look at what cards I've chosen, if we take a look at all the black cards, I've chosen a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7 and an 8. And I've mixed it up so there's some spades and some clubs. Okay, so I've got 3 clubs, 2 spades. And I do this because throughout the trick, because there's 5 of these cards, you're going to be seeing, you only ever see 4 at a time, right? Because that's the whole point. The spectator isn't going to know you've got 5. So at any point in the effect, they're going to be seeing 4 black cards. A 5th card is going to be left out, but it depends. In certain parts of the trick, a different card will be left out. So you don't want to be using cards that are, it's very obvious to the spectator what cards they are and they can easily remember. Because then, if they see a card that's different from the ones you previously showed them, the trick will be ruined. So that's why I've gone with these cards. They're difficult to remember because they're some are clubs, some are spades, and I've got a range of values as well. So it's not really too obvious when a card gets mixed out and hidden, as it will do in the effect. The red cards, it doesn't really matter. I just like to have a range again of both. So I've got some diamonds and some hearts. And 4, 5, 6, 7, just to keep with the theme I've got going here, so it's quite continuous and it looks fine. Okay, and then the spectator won't notice that you've got 5 cards. So these are the cards that you're going to want: 5 black cards, 4 red cards. Once you've got that set up, you want to take a black card, you're going to put that down, then you place all the red cards on top of that, and the remaining 4 black cards on top of that, and that's the setup for the effect. So this is what it should look like. Okay, so once you've done that, you're ready to go. We're going to start off with the cards in a mechanics grip, and you actually want to get a pinky break under the bottom 2 cards, okay? Just like that. So I've separated those bottom 2 cards from the rest of the pack. And this is just because when I spread the cards out, I want to keep that bottom black card hidden, okay? So I want to show that I've got 4 black cards and 4 red cards. Obviously I don't want to spread a little bit wider and show another black card there, because that'll be the effect ruined. So the effect of a pinky break is just, it makes sure these cards stay together, they stay in line, and that way there's no way the spectator is going to notice you've actually got 9 cards. So you say to the spectator, I've got 4 black cards, 4 red cards, and we're going to do a little bit of an effect with them. You're then going to close up the spread and flip the cards over in your hand. Once you've done that, you say the red cards are going to go down just over here, and you place the top 4 cards down to your right. So you're just going to deal them down to the table. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing special, just like that. But if we take a look at actually what's happened, you haven't dealt 4 red cards to the table at all. You've dealt 1 black card and 3 red cards. We'll come back to those in just a minute. You've got these black cards in your hand now. You're going to flip that packet face up again, and you say, the red cards are going down there, the black cards are going to remain in my hand. And then you're just going to count these as follows. You pull the top card off, flip it over with the deck, and you just keep doing that for the rest of the cards. So 2 black cards, 3 black cards, and when you get to this 4th, you've actually got 2 cards here. You've got a black card and a red card. You're in this position, you're in sort of a middle grip. So instead of like flipping it like that, we're just going to set it down and do a nice double lift to turn that one over. So now you're in this position here. You then want to get another pinky break under these bottom 2 cards to again stop them separating, okay? Because we don't want the spectator to know how many cards we've got. So once you've got that, you can do that just by riffling off the back here. Count off 2 cards, stick your pinky in there, that'll keep the cards together. And you say, okay, we're going to mix the cards up. We're going to mix them red, black, red, black. So you can show this first card if you wish, and you can say, I've got a red card, but don't show this card, okay? So when you're mixing the cards up in this way, it's okay to show some of the cards because it does give the impression that the red cards are here and the black cards are here. But obviously you can't be showing every single one because some of the red cards are in this packet and some black cards are in this packet. So it's not exactly as you've made out to the spectator. So what I like to do is I like to say, we're going to mix cards up red and black. You can show these 2, red, black, red, black. You can't show this one because this is a black card. Okay, so at the very end I just say red, black. And I always show this card in sort of a squaring up motion of this packet. I'll just show it like that. So it's not deliberate to the spectator that you're showing it, but they get a glance, okay? So it doesn't look as like you're showing it off as much. You don't want to show off that you've got this black card. It's just an off the cuff gesture. Oh, there's a black card. You place it on top. Be careful because there's a double as well. So you're in that position, and you're going to square the cards up. You give the whole spiel about how black cards are lighter than red cards, blah blah blah. You say, look, we take a look at these top 4 cards. You're going to deal 4 cards to the table. Place the rest of the packet down. You take a look at this packet. You flip it over. And this packet is 4 black cards, so the effect has been done at this point. However, you're going to do an Elmsley count. If you don't know how to do an Elmsley count, I'll leave a link in this top right hand corner of the screen, go and check it out. You're going to do one of those because later on we actually are going to need to do an Elmsley count because we're going to have a red card in this packet. But if you do one now, and you keep doing it throughout the effect, it will reinforce in the spectator's mind that when you do that, you've actually got 4 black cards, okay? So it won't look as fishy when you do it later on in the effect. So you show you've got 4 black cards at the top, and then you take this packet here, you flip it over, and you say, and I've got the 4 red cards. This, you actually do need to do a proper Elmsley count as well. So you're going to do an Elmsley count, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that shows 4 red cards, and then you're going to display them like this. You take a card, you're going to pull them off in the middle grip, and lay them out like that. You say I've got the 4 red cards. So that's stage 1 of the effect complete. We've separated, the black cards are separated from the red cards, and now we can go into stage 2, which is exactly the same as the first one. You literally just do the whole thing again. So you collect these cards up, be careful to make sure the order is correct. So we're going to take the double back first. So this is a double. We're going to take the double, then lay them all on top. And you say, the red cards are here, I'm going to take the black cards, and then you're back in starting position. Okay, so you literally do that whole thing again. So the red cards are going to go down here. I'll just do this quite fast because you guys have seen how you do this. You say the red cards go down here, and over here I've got the black cards. Oh, be careful not to do that. I've got the black cards here. Same thing again. Get your pinky break under those bottom 2 cards. You say, right, we're going to mix the cards red and black all the way through. So you just display a few of the faces as you do that. You say, we've mixed the cards up red and black. You can minute for the black cards to rise to the top, and you show those top 4 cards. Do an Elmsley count. Show the cards all face up. And then you're going to close this up and leave those black cards face up just over to the right. You're then going to do the same thing we did with the red cards earlier, an Elmsley count, and display like that, and leave the double here. So this card's a double. So now you're in exactly the same position we just were. So now we're entering stage 3. This is where we mix the cards up, face up. You take a card from the black packet, you put it down, then you take a card from the red packet. Now this is a double, okay? This is the double card. So you have to be careful when you're doing this that the cards are lined up, and you want to put it on top. Now this is probably, I'd say this is the most risky part of the whole effect, because if you just drop this card, you can see that, you might not be able to see that on the camera, but I can see it. The cards have separated, okay? And you can, I mean, I've exaggerated how much they separated, but even if they separate a little bit, the spectator's going to notice that a card was underneath, okay? You really don't want that to happen. So what I like to do is, you take it in middle grip, you apply a little bit of pressure with your index finger, and that keeps the cards bowed, and you can't tell at all that there's 2 cards there. It seems like 1 card. Then you place it down on the table. You're going to let go with your index finger, and then you keep your thumb and middle fingers in place until it's completely touched the table, and then once it's resting, and you can take the pressure off, and the card will sit nicely together, perfectly square. Okay, so that's the way you want to set this card down. You're just going to set it down slowly like that, with precision. Okay, don't try and do that move very fast. You want as slow as possible, because that will stop the card separating. From here, you're just going to carry on. So we're going to keep going. So you say red, sorry, black, red, black, red, black, red, black, red. So the rest of that count is completely fair. And you can even show to the spectator that the first few cards are ordered red, black. Just obviously don't spread to the very back where those two black cards are. From here, you flip the packet over, count out 4 cards to the table. Rest go down on the table there. Flip this packet over, and you're going to do an arms count, okay? Because we have got we start in this position here. We've got a red card in 3rd position. So to hide that, you do an arms count, and you're then going to flip the cards over. And this is very important for the very final bit. You take 2 cards in each hand. You show and you say these cards are perfectly normal or something like that, whatever you want. And then these 2 cards in your right hand that you took off the top, they go to the bottom. I can't stress this bit enough as well. This is very important for the final step. If you don't do this, when you come to show that they're all mixed at the end of the effect, it won't work. Okay. So you're in this position. You take 2 in each hand. You say, "Look, I've got 4 cards. Those 2 go to the bottom." Okay. So now the cards should be ordered in this position. Yeah. Once you've got them like that, you can turn these cards face up and place them down on the table again. Be very careful not to separate these cards because a red card is the second card down. So place it down on the table with care. Then you come over to the red cards, and you're going to do a bit of a different count here. The cards are in this position, so they sort of alternate. We don't want to change that order too much, so this is what we're going to do. You show that you take the top card with your right hand, which is a red card, and then you're going to turn both wrists, so your both hands are palm down, so 2 red cards are exposed, the bottom card of this packet and this card. Once you've done that, you turn both wrists again, so your hands are palm up now, and you put down your right hand card, and then you deal a card off the packet with your left thumb. You deal the top card off, which is actually a black card. So it's like this. I've got 2 red cards, and that's what you do. You just, as you turn those wrists back down, you just slide off a card with your right thumb, and you deal it down. Now to the spectator, they think this card went down, the 4 of diamonds, but actually, that's what it looks like. You just deal out that card off the top. From here, we just do exactly the same thing again. There's a slight difference. You take that top card off with your right hand, you turn both hands palm down again. You expose another 2 red cards, but this time, instead of putting the right hand card down first, you're going to put the right hand card down onto the left packet, and then those cards go down. That is also very important to remember for the final step. If you don't do it like that, again, the mixed cards won't work. So once you've done that, you can square these cards up and flip them over. And then you say something about you've got the black cards here and the red cards here, and they are not mixed up. And from here, the work is completely done. There's no more sleight of hand to do. You're just going to place the red cards onto the black cards. You get a pinky break under those bottom 2 cards again to stop them separating. And you're just going to say, but look, now they're all mixed. And when you come to this last one, take it in middle grip as a double. Apply some pressure with your index finger to stop them separating. And just place it on the bottom there. Show them for a few seconds that they're all mixed up, and then just collect the cards in, and then return to the deck. And that's Oil and Water. Okay then guys, that's going to be all for today's video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like, a favourite, comment and subscribe. And if you'd like to keep up to date with what's going on my channel, make sure to check out my Instagram and my Twitter accounts. The links will be down in the description below. So yeah, that was quite a difficult trick, probably quite an advanced one with all the different Elms accounts, and it's quite a lot of stuff to remember as well, quite a lot of a series of moves to remember there. I would just say that make sure to practice this one plenty of times, because those couple of steps where I said it's very important to get this order right, it is very important, because if you mess it up in a real performance, you'll end up with probably exposing that there's more black cards than you're letting on, and you don't want that to happen. So yeah, just make sure it's very well practiced before you go out and perform it, because it is quite a difficult trick to remember and to actually perform in live situations as well. So with all that being said, this has been Complete Deception, and I'll see you later.